Hello friends, welcome back to the cabin. In today's video we're going to finish the wiring in the workshop. Then we're going to use some logs that we harvested from our natural resources. We're going to run them through the sawmill, and then we're going to prepare them with a dado blade to make some shiplap for the walls on the inside of the workshop down here, because I'll tell you, plywood just costs too much for me to be able to afford. So we're going to use what we have available. Let me show you what I'm talking about. When we started framing the workshop, we ran our studs vertically. That way it would allow us to be able to overlap our siding. What I'm wanting to do on the inside here is use the same type of siding, but what I'm going to do is cut a small groove on the side, which will allow me to lap over kind of like a lock and key, one to the other when I put them up, and they will be totally flush on the outside when one laps over the other one because of the two grooves. They'll be opposite from each other. But that will allow me to have a smooth surface. Now I know I'm going to have a little bit of shrinkage, so we may have a little small gap open up, but I think if I cut like a 1/2 inch groove all the way down, that should be enough to still overlap even though it does shrink. But I think that that's going to look really good, and with some of that wood protectant on there, I think that it will last a long time, and it's free. It's not going to cost me anything but time, and that's something that I have a whole lot of. Now another thing we're going to have to do, since we're going to have a second floor up here where this large beam is, that's going to make this area up above there dark because there's no windows. So what I need to do is I need to run a leg up here for a light. Then we'll put another light up here off of that box right there. We're going to get all this wood moved. I've got a fan box that needs to go in up there, as well as an outdoor receptacle on this wall on this end of the workshop as well. And then I've decided to go ahead and put an outlet up here, kind of where I've got that solar light, so that we can mount a fan out here to blow kind of down at an angle, which as I'm milling, that will blow all of the dust in that direction, and it may even kind of cool my back in the summertime. So that's something else that we have to do. So let me get this room cleaned up a little bit, get all my tools together, and let's get started. Alright, let's get this wire fed through here. I think this wire was just long enough, I hope so. I came off of that box over there, that light. And we're going to go up top here. I think we have just enough. These nails have got to go in a little farther. That's where I'm going to put that. Well, we just barely got enough. But I think that I can make it. Alright, I've got another piece of wire right here. It was left over. I'm going to use that. This box right here. And we need to put a screw in there as well. Got that. Now let's stick our wire up in there. Now let's see, we need another hole in the top here. Let's get that fitted in. Right here. These upper lights will actually come on when I turn these lights on. And like I said, since they're LED, they don't burn much at all. Alright, I got a hole through there. Now we're going to try to make it around the corner here. Alright, we've got to get one more hole up here. Then we've got to go down, straight down through here. So we need to come up through here with another leg, like so. You need to feed these through. Okay, this is going to be the light. And then this one here is the leg for the power. The reason I'm taking this leg down right there is because the light is going to stop right here, and this is going to power the fan, so I need to be able to power that plug down there, and I don't think this is long enough to reach, so I'm bringing another one up through. We'll get it kind of roughed in here, about like that maybe. Okay, we'll cut this portion off. Get that fed up in there. Yeah, let's get this one in the bottom. Like that, something like that right there. Okay. We'll cut off some of that excess, way too much. Alright, now this leg is going to go up into that box up there as well. Cut off what I don't need here. Let's see, that's going to go out about like that right there. Yeah, I believe I'm tall enough that I can tack it down without using a step ladder. Before I tack that down any farther, we need to put this box in. And I went outside and looked. We need to go up on the second board because I think it's better based on where you're standing. If I put it up here, it's going to be up much higher outside. So let's go ahead and put this box in right about there like we did that other one. Alright, get my drill here. We'll drill the corners. Something like that. We'll get a couple of screws put in there. Alright, let's get this popped out. Get this wire run in. And out. Well, I had, what, about 8 inches too much right there. So, just going to cut that off, fold it in there, and we'll be ready to go. Well, I think this is the only one we've got left, and what I'm going to do is go on the inside there, draw out another box, and come down just below the ceiling up there. That way I can get a fan mounted up there to blow down, like I said, behind the sawmill. Second board down, which is going to be this one right here. So we're going to set this box up there and we'll get her outlined. And then get our holes drilled like we did the others. That should do it right there. That go in there. Let's drill us a hole right here. Alright, let's get this up to the hole here. And we've got that one put in up there, which means I'm going to have to buy another outside cover, but I do have another place outside for power right here inside where the sawmill is for the fan and possibly a dust collection system if we ever get one. And then right up here is where we just ran that box. So well, I made that its separate leg. We've got that box mounted up there for a light, and that one over there for a light. And then over here, this top one is for the fan. We're going to mount another light below that right there. And then there is the bottom of the plug that we put on the outside, which is right there. So once I get this all sewed up, it should be quite nice. The next thing to do is, like I said, we're going to go down and grab a log. We're going to start milling some material. Now I can't do it all at once because then that means I would have to buy all of the insulation at one time, which I can't afford to do that. So we're going to piecemeal this. The way we're going to do it is we're going to saw some boards. We're going to run them through the mill, get them prepared. I've got some insulation. I'll buy another roll and we'll go as far as we can with that. Then we're going to put the boards up. Then later on we'll buy another roll and kind of do the same thing. So we're going to piecemeal it together. Well, I'm heading up to do my little chore again, but I'll tell you, the weather has changed. It is so comfortable out here. I think the high is only like 75. I'm enjoying every bit of this. Well, you know, I've got 3 roosters, and either one or 2 of them killed one. We got too close to the fence and something got him. Now something happened to the turkey, and I don't think, the hen turkey, and I don't think that it was any of those chickens. So I think, now dogs are in the house with me at night, but I think we may have a prowler out here. So before it gets too cold, I might let the dogs sleep outside. Maybe they'll catch whatever it is. Alright, now that I got my chores done, I went and picked up some diesel fuel. So let's run down here, get the tractor, get it filled up, and let's get started. Friends, I tell you what, you talk about another beautiful day, and you can tell I've got this shirt on. It's just a little cool. But what I'm going to do first thing is I'm going to jump in the truck. I'm going to run down to Jennifer and Steven's place and get my table saw and my chop saw off of their front porch. We're going to bring it up here because it's going to be going in the workshop. So I'll meet you down there. Well friends, got a pretty full load, got extension cords, chop saw, table saw, and some leftover rock board that we're going to use for the wood burning stove up there in the workshop. Well, I made it back, so let's see if we can get these off, and I think I'm going to clean them up before I put them in there. So I imagine this table saw actually to go in here something like so. And this chop saw will go somewhere over here. Well, so now we've got this log that we need to cut up, but I want to be honest with you friends. Now normally I wouldn't tell you because that's just the way that I am. But when I set that chop saw down, I think I bent over wrong, and right across the small of my back from one side to the other, I have pulled a muscle, and it's kind of hard to stand up straight. So instead of making it worse, I'm going to take a day off, and I want to go ahead and end this video here. But next video, we're going to get started on milling this. I'll get the dado blade put in that table saw, and we'll get on with making some shiplap for the workshop. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Y'all take care, and look forward to seeing you back up here at the cabin again next time.